Chairman, ranking member, and members of Congress, you do not know my name. That is the first problem, because the people that you do not know are the ones holding your system together. I stand before you not as a politician, not as a lobbyist, not as a corporate executive, but as a frontline operator inside American healthcare, a system that is quietly collapsing while being publicly praised. And nowhere is that collapse more dangerous, more dishonorable than inside the system built for those who wore this nation's uniform. The United States Department of Veteran Affairs. So let us stop pretending. This is not a funding problem. It is a command failure. In 2014, the nation watched the VA wait time scandal unfold, veterans dying while waiting for care that was recorded as complete. That was not an anomaly. That was a warning shot. Since then, billions have been injected into the VA system. Reforms have been announced and oversight has been promised, and yet the VA serves over 9 million enrolled veterans with hundreds of thousands of vacancies across healthcare roles. Internal watchdog reports from the VA Office of the Inspector General continue to document delays in care, staffing shortages, and failures in accountability. Veteran suicide remains a national crisis. Approximately 17 veterans die by suicide every day in the United States. Frontline VA nurses and clinicians report unsafe staffing ratios, burnout, and moral injury, the same conditions infecting the corporate hospital systems across this country. This is the truth. The VA system, once very distinct in mission, is being operationally reshaped into the same corporate model that is already failing the civilian sector. This is a model where metrics replace medicine, throughput replaces thought, liability avoidance replaces patient advocacy, and frontline professionals are treated as expendable variables inside of a risk-managed machine. You cannot build a system for warriors and run it like a spreadsheet. So here is the real threat. This is not about inefficiency. This is about command distance. You have leaders making decisions about life and death environments who have never stood inside of them. You have policy architects designing solutions who have never held the hand of a dying veteran waiting for care that never came. You have systems built to protect the institution instead of the people it was created to serve. And here is the consequence. When you break the healthcare worker, you break the patient. When you strip autonomy, overload capacity, and silence voices, you do not get efficiency. You get errors. You get delayed care, and you get death. And you get it quietly. So here is the frontline truth. I need you to understand something most of this room has never been told. Healthcare workers inside the VA and outside of it are operating in non-permissive environments. Conditions where speaking up risks retaliation, reporting issues leads to isolation, and doing the right thing can cost you your career. So they adapt, they survive, and they go silent. And the system interprets that silence as stability, and it is not stability. It is suppressed collapse. Now, I will tell you something that you have never heard in this chamber. There is no national infrastructure designed to protect the healthcare worker. Patients are protected. Institutions are protected. Policies are protected. But the human being responsible for keeping another human alive stands alone. That is the gap. That is the failure. That is why systems break. I lead the Nursing Special Forces Association, not a union. It is not a protest group, not a political organization. A 501c6 national association built with one mission: protect healthcare worker at all costs, because that is how you protect the patient. This is America's first organization designed not around policy, but around operational reality. We are building a protected national network where healthcare workers can report, they can speak, and document without fear. A frontline intelligence system that provides real-time insight into system failures before they become national crisis. A leadership development pipeline forged from those who have actually operated under pressure, not theorized it. And a strategic partnerships with legal, psychological, and operational experts to reinforce the human infrastructure of healthcare. We are not here to disrupt. We are here to stabilize what you cannot see. So now I ask you, not as politicians, but as leaders entrusted with the lives of those who defended this country, who is protecting the protectors? Because right now, no one is. You can pass legislation. You can advocate and allocate funding. You can restructure programs. But if you do not address the human infrastructure collapse inside of healthcare, you will continue to fund failure. So here is the warning. If this trajectory continues, the VA will lose its remaining experienced workforce. Patient outcomes will decline despite increasing spending. And the gap between policy and reality will become unbridgeable. And when that happens, it will not be a scandal. It will be a system failure at national scale. I am not here to ask for permission. I am here to offer alignment. Engage with us, leverage us, use the Nursing Special Forces Association as a direct channel to the frontline reality you are currently blind to, because we are already there, inside the hospitals, inside the break room, inside the truth. You sent men and women into war with structure, support, and command integrity. And they performed. Now they come home. And we place them into a healthcare system that lacks all three. That is not a resource issue. That is a leadership failure. Fix it. Or history will record that the greatest military force in the world failed its warriors, not on the battlefield, but in the hospital.